Hey guys, did you know that Gravity Falls premiered 12 years ago? And did you also know that the third season is coming out soon? Oh my god! Bill and Ted Strange will be in it, and they'll be taking over everything and making it pixelated or geometric. I mean, enough! Did you really imagine this video like this? Did you think we're going to discuss the announcement of the third season of Gravity Falls and theorize again? I mean, celebrate and cheer, something like, oh yay, a third season after 8 years! I mean, haven't you got tired of Disney and other hyped-up merchants selling you this idea for the past 8 years? This video is a cry from my heart because I've been following all of this since the end of the Gravity Falls. So sit back and get comfy. My name is Dee and you're watching DeeAnimations channel, and oh boy, we have something to tell you. So just don't forget to like and subscribe, it helps me a lot. It really helps me and helps the channel. After all, you want me to take over the YouTube, right? Just like Bill Cipher and... okay, never mind. Gravity Falls is a legend, a triumph, Alex Hirsch magnum opus that he will probably never be able to repeat. It's a project that defined animation for many years to come, a project that made Disney try to copy itself more than once. It created a unique atmosphere of mystery and puzzles, intertwined with bright emotions and charismatic characters. Even when Disney actively interfered in the first season, people still searched for the mysteries and ciphers, the atmosphere, and this enigmatic and mystical element that many call the soul of the show in many other animated series. It was Gravity Falls, just like a lighthouse, that showed the way to many well-known individuals on YouTube. It also constantly guides many aspiring creators who desperately try to create something similar. And that's why so many people went to create their own Gravity Falls. Well, because Gravity Falls is Alex's personal story, a sublimation of childhood fantasy, his memories, and the imagination he retained, as well as his sister's imagination, apparently. Gravity Falls is not just an animated series, it's a reflection of a soul of a simple person, presented with narrative, plot, and interest. And what is the source of all stories if not real stories and stories of real people? Add some fantasy to this story and you get something that didn't exist before. And something new always finds success. Gravity Falls ended on February 15, 2016, which was 8 years ago, and even though the finale overly sweetened with a happy ending and Stan regained his memories, people are still waiting for the next summer with Dipper and Mabel, which probably won't even happen. The show became a phenomenon that can hardly be compared to anything else. Some people understandably got tired of everything being compared to Gravity Falls. It's really understandable that when something is repeated over and over again, it annoys some people. But it's hard not to mention something that became an example for many. A good story, interesting characters, an intriguing lore, and an unprecedented phenomenon and success. People seriously searched for Bill Cipher in any animated series they could find, thanks to this scene with the portal in both Gravity Falls and Rick and Morty. People even searched for the Bill Cipher statue from the ending in real life, and guess what? They found it! It's hard to argue that Gravity Falls left its mark in history, and Disney tried to recreate its success after Alex Hirsch flew away like a cunning bird. Star vs. the Forces of Evil is one of the greatest representatives of cartoons after Gravity Falls. It doesn't matter that many things are different. The feeling of atmosphere, mystical elements that surround the show, inside it, that's what attracts, and that's what I call it, Gravity Falls-like cartoons. After this, there was an amphibia, from people who also worked on Gravity Falls, and the spirit, the mystical soul of Gravity Falls is clearly visible there. And then we got the infamous The Owl House. This is also a bright example of the latest cartoon in the Gravity Falls family tree. Moreover, Disney wants a new Gravity Falls so much that they allowed Dana Terrace to create the Owl House, most likely because A, they needed a cartoon just like Gravity Falls, so the original ideas with horror and more intense atmosphere suffered greatly. I mean, seriously, if you study what Dana had in mind, the cartoon could have been 100 times better. But as usual, Disney interferes with great authors, and B, she was Alex Hirsch's girlfriend. I mean, okay, stop, don't shout, don't destroy me or anything, I'm just pouring out memories from 5 or 7 years ago, okay? Those are not my thoughts, these are memories, okay? No one will say, no one can confirm properly. This may just be a conspiracy nonsense that I picked up by reading forums, and you shouldn't believe it, but if there is a little chance that Dana was allowed to make a cartoon on Disney Channel just because she is Alex Hirsch's girlfriend, and therefore he could have helped her with the script for the Owl House and voiced some characters, then, well, then it blows the tower. Again, there is no evidence, at least I deliberately didn't look for them, because, well, it sounds a bit disgusting. I don't believe the world works like that. But many will remember that when there were rumors about the Owl House, everyone kept saying that it was a cartoon from the creators of Gravity Falls, created by Alex Hirsch's girlfriend, as if it were a PR campaign. You know, Alex is like a King Midas. He touches your work and it becomes Gravity Falls. So now we need to take an axe, find Alex Hirsch and take him by the hand. Okay, that's how big the paranoia was around this. But is that all? No, not at all, my fellas. There's more where that came from. But before we go any further, what do you think about all of this? Write down in the comments. I mean, they really want Season 3. They want it so much that they are looking for it everywhere. Disney even tried to make Gravity Falls without Alex Hirsch because Disney can do that. Yeah, they can. It turns out that the rights to Gravity Falls were not exclusively Hirsch's. It was more of a myth. He has the rights to the universe, but that doesn't legally prevent Disney from making a series if they want to. But it doesn't matter because Disney still hasn't released the 3rd season. Apparently, it won't work without Alex. And for 8 years, you constantly come across words, 3rd season soon, on websites where there is a countdown and keeps updating with the headline, 3rd season will be released in, and then the numbers. Fake news that Gravity Falls will be released literally in a week and that discussions are underway for the release of the 3rd season with Alex Hirsch. 6 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, however many years ago, as a blogger, I constantly came across comments on YouTube that people wrote to me and other bloggers like, "You don't believe, but the 3rd season will come out soon, in a month." This was 2 years ago, I remember it. But in reality, there were a lot of such comments, and I don't know where they got this news from. It's like they deliberately search in Google until they find any mention of the 3rd season will be released, and then they come and tell you that it will indeed be released. Oh my god, I mean, do you want views? Okay, well, guys, if someone here wants to become a popular blogger, gather subscribers, you know, grow their channel, YouTube, and all of that, you know, then make a video with a title like, "Hooray, Gravity Falls Season 3. Don't believe it? Well, there are people who actually do this and gather quite a number of views. And they do it over and over again. And the funniest thing is that it works because he is not the only one. There are many like him. And this is far from an isolated case. People are obsessed with the 3rd season. And if you dare to say that this will never happen and it's all fake, then you yourself will be sent to the Gravity Falls by having your body cut into triangles with these little eyes. That's why I'll tell you that the 3rd season will come. Just wait. But you won't like how it turns out. Well, more on that later. The situation around Gravity Falls and Alex Hirsch himself is absurd to the point of madness. As soon as Alex appears in any show as a writer or just as a pizza delivery guy, I don't know, people shout out loud, "This is a cartoon from the creator of Gravity Falls, Alex Hirsch," and expect a cartoon that is completely unrelated, literally a new Gravity Falls. But that doesn't happen and won't happen. This was exactly the case with the animated series Inside Job. And the fact that Alex Hirsch even touched it with his golden hand like King Midas, everyone almost started a fan advertising campaign, meaning the fans of the unreleased cartoon themselves led an advertising campaign which even Netflix didn't launch, saying that there will be a cartoon in the style of Gravity Falls, because Alex Hirsch is involved. So it must be a cartoon by Alex Hirsch, right? Wouldn't you be offended if you were the author of this cartoon? I mean, Alex made a brief appearance there as a result. Not himself, but the fans pushed this actual author of this Inside Job out of the internet, Shion Takeuchi. Is she happy about it? Probably not. But it won't work like that. Gravity Falls was once and for all. I mean, and that's how it is. And why is that? Well, of course it can come out as a 3rd season, but not the way you want it. And I'll tell you more about it later. The thing is, the new wave of fame for the 3rd season and what Disney is preparing for it is in the fact that Bill Cipher's book has already been released. It falls into the category of merchandise in the form of books based on the animated series, with pictures, various lore information, a lot of interesting things, sometimes even in the form of comics. Well, Disney actively does this with every Gravity Falls-like cartoon. Star versus the Forces of Evil, same story, the same goes with Amphibia, and there will be a case with the Owl House. And it was the case with Gravity Falls, and now a new book, Bill Cipher's book, will be released with billions of ciphers and new lore information, which made people on the internet go crazy when they deciphered everything as a fandom. One teaser of the book is already like a teaser for an animated series with Easter eggs and other audiovisual ciphers, and all of this will be presented in this kind of content in the form of a book. Obviously, riding this wave, Disney decided, as they have done many times before, to ask if Alex will be doing something. And Alex, with such popularity and fame that even his touch is already an advertisement for any work, do you think he will agree? Considering how Disney has been wanting to ruin everything lately. Of course, Alex and Dana Terrace apparently went their separate ways, but do you think he will agree, considering how Disney treated the Owl House and how they wanted to treat Amphibia? This whole mess happened because at one of the conferences, a representative of Disney was asked about possibility of continuing Gravity Falls. I mean, they usually respond with something like, "We can't say anything yet," or "We don't have that information now," but this now, Disney representative suddenly answered, "You know, we are in talks with Alex Hirsch and he will soon publish a book in collaboration with us." Well, she didn't say it exactly like that, she said like, "in collaboration with Disney. And we're also preparing short films, so never say never." They gave us hope for the third season again, but don't get too hopeful or fixated on it. We're only recently started to calm down. The endless flood of takes has subsided a bit, as similar negotiations with Alex have happened before. He refuses to collaborate with Disney because of strict censorship and numerous restrictions. Alex even said that he would make a spin-off about Stan and Ford only if Disney fell apart. Bill's book has already been released, and probably against this backdrop, Disney is trying to persuade Hirsch to make a third season. Disney tried to make a new Gravity Falls without Alex, but how can they do something like that without its sole creator and father? And remember the modern trends that Disney has been obsessed with in recent years and trying to cater to social demands? Gravity Falls ended just before it was hit by all this known media. That's why we still love Gravity Falls, because of nostalgia and the purity of the original show. Do you think that a continuation with Alex in the form of a third season will be just as pure and rare as the world's most precious animation gem? But ask yourself, look at what Disney has turned everything it touches into lately. Won't they start repainting characters, breaking their personalities and preferences under the pretext of, well, the characters have changed over time, yada yada yada, pushing social trends, hiring people not because they want to make a third season and know how to do it, but simply because of, oh well, it doesn't fit a certain quotas, so we'll hire someone who has never worked before. All these things ruin modern cinema, and they'll probably just do it only to push it on Disney+. Oh, dear Mary Mother of Shub-Niggurath. Don't get me started on Disney+. I'm already preparing a video about streaming services, and you'll be surprised that in all these Disney Pluses, there are only downsides. That's why you shouldn't count on the third season. Moreover, those who believe that it will eventually come out are not logical. Guys, you are more right than you think, because Disney can at any moment, really at any moment, just go crazy and release Gravity Falls without Alex Hirsch. It doesn't stop them from doing it. The fact that they haven't done it yet, considering their sometimes bankrupt moments, and the fact that Disney is a bit insane and doesn't understand what's going on, is just a miracle that Gravity Falls hasn't been released yet. But you should be glad about this, because if Gravity Falls were to come out now, we would probably regret it. We need to wait for there to be less real politics or social trends in cartoons and movies, and only then we can be happy about the third season. Not now, when Alex Hirsch constantly distanced himself from Disney, and there are probably reasons for that. Moreover, we don't know his personal feelings and emotions about working with Disney. Yes, he often criticizes and distances himself from his work, but many things cannot be said for many years, sometimes decades, due to contracts. Only after 40 years, when some contract that we don't even know about expires, can he probably pour a bucket of shit on Disney. Because if Alex Hirsch agrees now, Disney will start putting obstacles in his way, telling him what to do, what to include in his animated series. And no matter how bad Netflix is, which sometimes seems to be preparing some kind of project with Alex, at least they don't limit authors and the future of Alex's animation. Let Alex Hirsch do what he wants, let him cook. And Gravity Falls itself is a monument to his life. And in order to create something new, Alex himself needs to live even more and sublimate even more emotions and self-reflection. In other words, the author himself needs to grow up to write about adult heroes and their stories. The scariest thing is that even if Disney convinces Alex and doesn't hinder him, they may not be as much mystery anymore, because not every great author produces masterpiece after masterpiece. Just because you created something great doesn't mean you will surpass it or even repeat it. And many authors have remained the authors of only one great work, which I hope will not happen to our Alex Hirsch. It's just a passing fear because Gravity Falls is based on his childhood. And childhood is always more mysterious when you try to remember it. Sometimes it's cozy, bright, and together with childish imagination, it appears as something like what Gravity Falls was for Alex. Whether this will happen with the theoretical continuation, no one can guarantee us. But I can only tell you one thing. Reality is a cartoon. The universe is the background. Buy my merch, subscribe, and see you all in the next universe. Bye-bye!